talks by no longer conducting these missile tests.
Rex Tillerson on what's going on with North Korea. Trey Harden, ABC News political analyst, joins us. Good morning, Trey Harden.
Good morning, buddy. How you doing?
We're doing good. So I think it should be noted that the UN Security Council got a unanimous vote. That means Russia, China, and the U.S. all on the same page. That doesn't happen very often so they are sending a clear message to North Korea.
No doubt. I think it's very significant. You got to give the Trump administration credit. We've said for a while that of the many faults that he has, one has been that he has one that is not a fault is that he's put some good people around him, particularly on the defense and national security and international relations front. You really got to tip your cap to Nikki Haley and Rex Tillerson for this vote. I don't think it was an easy one. Russia and China are looking at the same poll numbers that we are in this country about Trump's numbers just dwindling every day and his base eroding on the Republican side, and that typically can make other world leaders, maybe kind of hedge their bets or be a little apprehensive to go along with a United States that's kind of in political turmoil or uncertainty. But they got Russia and China across the finish line on this, and it's not insignificant. Now, the big question is, how well will these sanctions work? In order for sanctions to work, it really requires two things. One, they've got to be enforceable, and we're not necessarily sure that these will be enforceable in terms of some backdoor market access with China and Russia could still possibly happen. And two, it requires a leader that really gives a crap about his people and cares about the economic future of his country. And clearly, this leader in North Korea doesn't seem to be that type of leader.
I don't know if you've seen this, but this morning Donald Trump retweeted a story from Fox News saying that U.S. spy satellites detect North Korea moving anti-ship cruise missiles on a patrol boat. He's the president of the United States. Shouldn't Fox be retweeting what he says as opposed to what Fox is saying? I mean, he can get a phone call and get all this information with one phone call.
Yeah, exactly. And, we have to compartmentalize, I think, when we're talking about this president. I mean, you and I have talked many times since he's been elected about how things are unprecedented. Things are, this is the first time in history, and, how unique this is. I mean, we're just almost running out of those terms and descriptions with this president. It's just a completely different dude, a completely different communication style, completely different view of how to be presidential. But all that aside, this is serious business. It is, this is a serious game. This is frankly the first time I think we have really been talking about missiles targeting our country since the Cold War. Obviously, we're not sure that they've got the capability yet. I would argue that based on what we've heard, that they don't, but they could be close, and it's certainly worth looking into and deterring and doing whatever is necessary. But I'll tell you, there's some groups that are probably very happy about the focus that North Korea's taken away from them, and that's ISIS and the war on terror. I'm not saying that we're taking our eye off that ball, but I'm telling you, if I'm those organizations, it makes me very unsettled as an American citizen to think that they might try to seize this opportunity and do something bad while we're focusing on this nut job over in North Korea.
One comment or question about the poll numbers this morning that came out. Donald Trump, his supporters, somewhat skittish. Republican support still very strong, but I'd say a little weak. Overall, pretty weak in the 30s. And so Donald Trump, does he get that message? Does he say, you know what, I need to change, I need to sort of fight back a little bit? What do you think Donald Trump thinks when he sees these polls? And or does he just discount them, calling them fake news?
I think he discounts them, calls them fake news. I think he's delusional. I think that he believes that he has enough support out there to win re-election if it were to happen right now, because he believes so much in this quote-unquote ghost vote that existed last November that surprised all of us. He thinks that it's still there in the Rust Belt in particular, but it's just reality that it's not. I mean, it's more than just the hardcore Trumpers, white, uneducated, non-college degree white voters that voted for him. There are a lot of other Republicans, smart Republicans that with graduate degrees that voted for him that are now peeling off because they just know that the guy is lacking credibility. So it's they are significant. He's delusional if he thinks that he's got enough to win re-election, and he needs to start speaking to more people than just these folks that are that believe in him no matter what he says or does wrong.
Trey, have yourself a good week. Talk to you next Tuesday.
You got it. Take care.
626, Big 5.